patriotism in both levels, Cuban level and
just watching footage of what people were actually seeing that
the
day.
rehearsal process, getting to connect with the material.
Also, the tragedy that the Cuban Revolution led to.
Lonnie Stark Silver pre-here at the San Jose Rep with some of the cast of Sonia Flew, the latest production by the Rep and a West Coast premiere. I'm here with Yvonne, Juana, Tiffany, and Miles here, who play actually 2 roles each in this play. Let's start off with you, Yvonne. What do you think Sonia Flew is about? You play the main character for this.
Sonia it's about many things. One of the themes is forgiveness. It's a historical play in a way because it's set against 2 historical events. In 2001, the invasion to North America, and in 1961, the Cuban Revolution. It's about family. It's about love of parents, sacrifice. It's about patriotism.
Well, I think it's interesting because it's also a reminder, the way they parallel the 2 times, 1961 versus 2001, how history does keep repeating itself and we really never learn from our past. And it's, in that way, it's up to the family to learn how to change their interactions, what they do with their future, the familial bond, how that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, this world is a crazy, scary place, and that can happen at any time.
Just watching footage of what people were actually seeing that day. Like, they have YouTube, you can find anything on YouTube, but just watching like the moment by moment footage, people were so they weren't expecting it to be a terrorist attack, and they were completely dumbfounded by the event, and just watching that was really kind of an eye-opener for me.
It's very important in the sense, I was in New York that day, and it's very important in the sense to remember that we are still dealing with the repercussions of that one day. It still actually upsets me quite a bit to think about 9/11. But it upsets me more that people sort of have forgotten. So it's pieces like this that make the tragedy that was also the tragedy that the Cuban Revolution led to. 14,000 kids being sent in 18 months, was it, Yvonne?
In 18 months. For this part, me personally, what I had to do was a lot of, the material is really good, so you don't have to access a lot of other things, but I did have to make substitutions, yes, because I'm talking about a lot of people in the play that are not there. So I have to make substitutions of people that I know that mean something to me or that parallel the experiences in the play. It's like painting, a painter doesn't go splash. There's the color. No, a painter goes, okay, if I combine this with this, it'll get me that. I don't like that shade. But if I put a little bit of this, that's the shade that I like. I think acting is very much like that.
You haven't seen me paint
Every day, it's not always all there, but some days when I don't know what the combination is, and like Yvonne's a very experienced actress, so she knows how to, I think all these ladies know how to really tap into the emotion, and
smart guy.
I don't think it's, she mentioned the Cuban Revolution in high school. There's a lot of historical stuff that you learn when you're young, but you don't revisit, you don't study Cuban Revolution or these,
It's the basics.
Spent a half day on the Vietnam War. I don't think we even covered the Korean War, and I was in whatever it's called, honors. The way that history is taught can be so myopic.
Yes, the Americans don't even know that Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. We're a colony of the United States since 1898. Nobody knows this. People ask me if I have a green card. Don't you know that we're American citizens? And because they don't teach you that in school here. They don't teach you. In school in Puerto Rico, I learned American history, world history, and Puerto Rican history.
Every other country learns about us, but we don't learn about every other country.
Exactly. And that's why there's racism, and that's why there's so many problems. When people are different, they speak different, they look different, then the first generation Americans get a little bit rowdy because they haven't been taught, they haven't been informed. It's a lack of education in this country, which is very scary, you know, because education is, a lack of education is ignorance, and ignorance dares to do stupidity, stupid
That's
things,
why
you know?
we're lucky to have this job, because this is a form of education
Yes.
and entertainment. I mean,
Yes.
it really,
And
we're so
hopefully,
lucky.
we are, but I hope that they, you know, the people learn something from it, because they have to know their history and the relationship of the world to the United States, and the United States to the world, because the United States is a big empire that really affects other countries in ways that American people are not even aware of the impact, of the negative impact that this country has over other countries. That's why some people, when the country was attacked in 9/11, some people said, but what are we doing? And some people were like, what are you saying? That's anti-patriotic. No, that's not anti-American. To question, to think, that's
very American.
Exacto, that's very American. Hello.
What's been the most surprising thing? You already mentioned how few people actually were aware of the Cuban Revolution. What other things were surprising in the reactions from the audience in these talkbacks?
It was the first or the second talkback when there was a slightly middle-aged man said, I loved what you were doing in the first act, because I was so angry with you for suppressing your guilt and your upsetness, and I just made me go, oh, just release it, go to see a psychiatrist already. And I was like, that's awesome, because it's kind of an eclectic thing to pick up on.
Yes.
The fact that you need to do your
really cool.
inner work.
I know.
And he was visibly upset.
And you know what?
He was
I like that.
Work on yourself, woman.
Yeah,
It's a very
and I
modern
like that
concept,
because
you know.
I like the fact that he didn't like me.
He was
I like
upset
that.
with
I
you.
like to be unliked.
He was upset
As
with
Sonia
you.
at the beginning,
Yeah.
I like that, because the director kept saying, I want them to like Sonia. You know what? I don't want them to like her at the beginning, because she's a basket case. She's insupportable. You know, she's very hard to deal with, and she's a strong woman, and you don't know where she's coming from. So there's no reason to like her, and that I am actually
She's
having
so
my nervous
open to
breakdown.
having the help.
Yeah.
She's so
I feel
open.
like I'm not interviewing the actresses here. I'm interviewing like the characters. I think we have Sonia here.
We really have become.
That's the problem. We
family.
become a little bit, you know, yes, granted, like Julian said, you know, when the play ends, you know, the character ends, the character dies. I mean, that's it. But there are traits of the character that stay with you while you're doing the play, you know, you can't help
shake
it. I
it.
mean, I can't shake it, you know. Shake it, but don't break it.
Shake it, but don't break it.
Okay, so what's your secret? I've interviewed quite a number of casts, but I have to say this one, you guys have bonded or really like, is this normal for you guys, or I just find that just,
Well, how can you not? You know, we're going every night. The journey that we go on together is so emotionally charged, and you have to have that connection. If you don't, it's just. I don't think it'd be possible to get there. And it's healing to laugh with one another after breaking down and crying and having that emotional baggage. You know, it's nice to be able to just sit and
Release it.
decompress.
It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. Congratulations on a fabulous play. Clinton and I enjoyed it a lot and recommend that folks come and see it actually. And thank you for crawling out of your quiet shells and sort of trying to engage with our audience. I know it's been difficult, this group, but thank you for your time.
Gracias. Muchas gracias, gracias. Vengan a ver la obra. Come see the play.
Sí, ven.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna do it again, but can you loosen up a little bit this time?
We should just not
We're
tell
still
them
talking
and go
about
filming and just let it
Yeah,
roll,
go with
you
it
know?
here.
We'll talk about nuns for 10 minutes.
We give them wine before this.
What are you talking about?
Where's the wine? Where are you hiding
You
it?
don't want to see what happens if you add wine to the mix.
Yeah.
Would you try if someone offered you $100?
This is your close-up. Yeah, you can do.
There you go. That's a good one.
Mira para allá.
Look as if you say something interesting. Sometimes we have to loosen people up for a while. I don't think